Hey, welcome in and welcome back. It is here August the 1st, and I just got through running for the day. I'm about to break out my medicine ball, brand new medicine ball that I got for the first time. See if I can find some place that's dry here to use it. Everything is sort of swamped out at the moment, but um, an unusual characteristic of August. There's always a day in August, it seems, that feels like the first day of fall. And today, August 1st, is that day. It feels like fall. I hate fall. I hate pumpkin spice lattes. I hate the winter on its way. I hate coats. I hate the cold. I hate being cloistered inside, though I spend most of my time cloistered inside anyway. I hate it when I don't have that choice, right? And traditionally, when you look at symbolism, when you look at storytelling, any fall is death, winter is death, and it feels that way, doesn't it? A little bit, at least on the micro scale. The year is dead. Um, Anytime a poem starts in the fall, anytime a story starts in the fall, a novel is set in the fall, be wary, be very wary. You know where that story is ending. Death. Someone's dying. Your main character might not survive. But that's death, and I remember my senior year of high school. I had quit sports because it was obvious at that point in time that it was not going to be a ticket to college for me. I was not an athlete, and I was going to have to provide for myself to get to college. So I started working, and I started working basically full time. The place where I was working was open 12 hours on Saturdays and 10 hours on Sunday. So on the weekends, I scooped up 22 hours. And then I had to work 2 or 3 days during the week from, 5 to 10, I think. So you got another 15 hours there. So you're looking at 37 hours. I remember that first year I was there, senior year of high school. It was September or October. I'd been there 4 months, 5 months, something like that. And my manager was the smoke break type. Of course, right? Had to take her smoke breaks. So I stepped outside with her, and that first nip of the dying year was upon us. It was cold for the first time. You step outside and your hair prickles. Hair on your arm stands up, right? And that was awful. That was, I think, when I'm looking back, the first time that I had ever felt mortality, I grew up a scared kid because of circumstances in the house. I grew up, sort of like a rabbit, always running, and sort of bullied in the neighborhood, at school, things like that, when I was younger. And I stepped out, that night with my manager on her smoke break and felt mortality for the first time. Not being scared, not thinking I was in danger, those things had happened before, but thinking things are ending. That's sort of the way I define feeling mortality, is not feeling a beginning on the horizon, which is what spring is traditionally represented as, things like that. But there I was, feeling that in that moment. And, well, here's a car coming on the grass. That's upsetting. So, what the fuck are you doing? That was hard for me because, like I say, I had quit sports that year. And it had always been that time of the year I would have been playing football, and the season would have been ending. And with the season ending, you turn around and you start the next season. But that wasn't there. I wasn't going to have that. So I stepped outside, and it felt like an ending. And there were no new beginnings to be had. Chris Cornell, in his album Carry On, has a song called Disappearing Acts, 2008, 2009. And some of the lyrics are, "We build and tear down, with hardly the time to say, how did it get so late? I'll never know." And that's a lot of how I would explain that it feels, and I hate that feeling. So one thing I've always tried to do, and I'm going to need it this year, is I've always tried to weaponize that feeling against myself. That feeling of mortality, that feeling of there are no more beginnings to be had, that feeling of hauntology, if you will. The future has been canceled. I've always tried to weaponize that against myself and say, if you died tomorrow, would you be happy with what you've done? Would you be happy with what you've accomplished? And then you sort of bank that idea. I sort of bank that idea in the back of my mind, and I use it to motivate myself, and I'm going to need that this year.